Congratulations on your purchase of the T680E. We've been making the diesel version of this cab since 2013, and it's become a proven platform and beloved by drivers. It's what made it the natural fit to put an electric powertrain in it when we were choosing a Class 8 truck to electrify. Now, while much of the operation is same as the diesel counterpart, there are some key differences between this and the diesel one. So I'm gonna take you through those in just a moment. But first, we gotta get this truck charged up. So let's walk through that first. For as long as we've been selling diesel trucks, we haven't really had to ask our customers where they're going to fuel them. Well, that's all changed with the battery electric trucks. Most of our customers are actually owning their own infrastructure, and keeping that infrastructure running well and keeping these trucks fully charged is key to a smooth operation. This truck is equipped with a CCS Type 1 charging port, and that's the North American standard for heavy-duty trucking. This charging port is located on the driver's side of the energy storage system and is suitable for nose-in charging for most DC fast charger setups.
If you have just ended operation, it's a good idea to give the truck a couple minutes after shutting down. Key the truck off, and when ready, plug into the charging port. Make sure the cord is free of obstruction and isn't pulled too taut. The light inside the charging port will blink green when charging is successfully initiated and continuing. When completely charged, the light will be a solid green. If there is a charging error, the light will blink red. In the event of a charging error, disconnect from the charger. Touch the sensor and you can remove the plug when you hear the charger release. After the charge is disconnected, wait about 30 seconds and flip the 12-volt disconnect, which is located under the hood on the driver's side of the PCAS system. After 1 minute, flip the 12-volt disconnect back to the on position and reconnect to the charger. When first plugging the charger into the vehicle, your charge rate will start slow and gradually climb to the peak rate over the course of a couple minutes. You should see the peak charge rate sustained until about the last 10% of charging. At this time, the charge rate will decrease to about 7 kilowatts. This is helping balance the battery cells, so they all achieve full state of charge. This is a key practice for the truck to perform its full driving range. If some battery cells are charged lower than others, you will only be able to drive as far as the lowest charged cells. It's best to allow this balancing process to happen regularly. If you are charging overnight, this should be easy to accomplish daily.
The CCS1 plug is supported by many vehicle manufacturers and charging providers. Most are compatible with the T680E, but there are some nuances to interoperability. If you run into issues charging on a non-PACCAR charger, it could require software interoperability testing between Kenworth and the charging supplier. Older DC fast chargers may have been built with an output voltage lower than the T680E's system voltage of 650 volts. This will prevent the truck from charging. Most newer DC fast chargers have a voltage range of up to 1000 volts, beyond what is necessary for the T680E.
Before starting your truck, it's always important to complete a pre-trip inspection and ensure your truck is running properly. It's always best to comply with the local, state, and federal laws, so please consult the regulation in your area before hitting the road. Ensure park brake is engaged and the transmission is in neutral before performing any checks. First, start with the visual inspection. Check for low-hanging cables below the truck, especially orange high-voltage cables. Have an authorized technician examine any questionable components and repair them without delay. Ensure all tire pressures match and are in recommended pressure range. Check parking spot for evidence of any fluid leaking. Verify the truck exterior lights are all functioning. Ensure all windows, mirrors, and lights are clean and unobstructed. Pop the hood and inspect the power controls and accessories unit, otherwise known as the PCAS. Verify the coolant lines, power steering lines, air lines, fittings, and other connections are all secure, intact, and free of chafing. Verify that all coolant reservoirs are in the correct location and adequately filled. Ensure the radiator fan is free of debris. Turn the ignition key fully clockwise and let it spring back. Ensure the retarder switch is in the on position unless inclement driving conditions exist to maximize truck range. Release the park brake. Put the truck in drive. The truck will be ready to move when the green ready to move telltale is illuminated.
I'm here with Don inside the T680E. He's helping demonstrate the driving ability of this truck. We just finished up the pre-trip inspection, so we are all ready to go. Don, why don't you put it in gear and we'll see what this truck has. As you can notice right from the jump, this truck has a lot of power and quick acceleration. Much of that is due to the Meritor 14XE tandem e-axle. The motors are directly attached to the rear drive axles, giving it 536 horsepower and 1,623 feet-pounds of torque. Those motors being attached directly to the drive axles gives it peak efficiency and frees up space in between the frame rails for extra battery storage. What you'll notice in addition to the great acceleration on this truck is that it's incredibly quiet. It sounds more like a golf cart than it does a Class 8 truck, so keep that in mind as you're maneuvering around pedestrians or in parking lots. You can sneak up on somebody in a Class 8 semi-truck. Something else to notice, as you're done doing hot laps around the track, you take your foot off the accelerator and the regen braking kicks in pretty immediately, and it's very strong. It'll take you from freeway speeds all the way down to a crawl. And that's just using the motor in reverse instead of your service brakes, so that's extra brake life for you and putting extra energy into your battery packs. Something to notice, you will see after you've charged your truck fully that those regen braking features are disabled, and an icon on the dash will indicate that. That's perfectly normal. It just means that there's no extra storage in the battery system for that energy that's being created when regen braking is activated.
Obviously, the electric powertrain is a big change for the T680E, but overall, we kept the look and feel of this truck very familiar. The dash is really where the electrification is reflected inside the cab. As you look at the dash, you'll notice the fuel gauge is replaced with a charge level gauge. The RPM gauge is replaced with a power output gauge. A neat feature of this is that you can see both the power output as you use the motor as well as the power input as the regen braking recharges the batteries. Other helpful gauges include auxiliary power loss gauge and motor torque available gauge. A handful of telltales will light up if there are issues, including the turtle light indicating limited performance, also known as below 25% power output limited. Ready to move light shows the truck is ready for accelerator to be pressed. If you have an electronic PTO, the PTO light will illuminate when it is ready to use. If parking overnight and not plugged into a charger, be sure to flip the 12-volt disconnect to preserve charge in the low-voltage system.